Welcome to our meal planning magic. We are excited to bring you guys topics every week, every Monday night. We try to bring you something we feel as though is going to help educate you and give you some new ideas to help you improve your health. So I'm Amanda Villarreal and I am a nutritionist. So this fits right in with what I do along with personal training and really bringing together the aspects of how we can make our meal times both healthier and easier. So as we move through this 20 minutes, guys, I really had a hard time narrowing down what we're going to talk about just because 20 minutes is not very long. But I would love for you guys to, even if you have a great meal hack or something that you do, please share with us at the end. That would be great. So don't forget, I do have you muted though, so unmute yourself as we get further along here. So I just finished taking it was a conference over the weekend, and it was very educational, and they were really bringing the latest and greatest into the health industry. And this was from the University of Massachusetts, and this is a new option of showing what our plate should look like. And I thought this was right on track, so I apologize it's not the best screen quality because I screenshotted it during one of the sessions. But this is what we need to be thinking of, how we should be gauging our diet more appropriate today. If you guys remember the old food guide pyramid, it had sugar at the top, it had, meat is the big foundation of your diet, and we need to look at reversing that. I also wanted to just throw out there the statistic that I found it to be very fascinating, that the latest research has shown that the standard American diet, that if you are eating 2,000 calories a day, 2,000 calories a day, it is now found that over 1,000 of those calories come from processed sugar. So think about that number, guys. 1,000 of your 2,000, that's half of your day, is now in the standard American diet, pretty much filled with processed sugar. That includes your simple carbs, but that is very scary. And when you think about the amount of the sugars in our standard American diet and what that does to our body, obviously that's causing very high levels of inflammation, and that is not creating this effect that we are trying to go for and look at building health. So I want you guys to just look at your plate every now and then as we're planning for our meals, to try to incorporate more and more vegetables as the center of our plates. And for many of us, that's very challenging to do. And again, you'll notice all the foods are in there too. I mean, you're still having meat, you can still have your grains, depends on, your area that you really want to focus on. But remember, variety. So as you're planning your meals, let's get that more into our minds of options, and also variety is that key word. So many of us, I think we get stuck in a rut, and it's really easy to want to do the same foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's not going to be really, one, helping us for getting enough variety, but also two, I don't know about you guys, but we get bored. And I think that's why we end up then wanting to go out to eat, and we try to find those fast food options. So I love the board on the screen on your left that just shows, actually Stacy's who's on here. I remember seeing at her house, she has a chalkboard and she writes things on that. And I love the idea of having that written out of your meal plan. I think Sarah might have it too, actually, but showing your days. Just give you a rough idea, of what you might be doing for the week. That can really be helpful for you. So when you are maybe getting back to normal life here and it's very crazy and busy, you don't have to remember each night what you had planned for dinner because you have it written out. Breakfast and lunch for most of us, it's a little bit easier because you might have leftovers. You might have things that are much easier to grab. Whereas all of the dinners, I think, are where when we really get stumped, we reach for things that are not of, necessarily good nutrition. So some good ideas. When you buy your foods, think of making them in bulk. I know I'm a big fan of Sunday as prep day. And you know what? Your prep is worth it to plan that time. So if you are, again, generally on Sundays having a little more free time, make that your day to plan. So for example, you buy a bunch of eggs, boil them all at once so you have them for the rest of the week. I love glass containers because they're not going to leach plastics into your food. So if you store them in here for a while, they're not going to taste funny. So cutting up your vegetables right when you get home. That's why I'm saying is, if you could maybe plan grocery shopping on Saturday, Sunday be your prep day. Get all of that going. Cut up as many things as you can so you have no excuses when you open up the refrigerator to not know what to eat. Now, I also love with the glass containers versus plastic. Yes, you can see through plastic containers too. but they're also very easy to stack, so you can always see what's in them. So it makes it easier to remember what you prepared in advance. So just, quick tip there again, think about your storage and prepping in advance. So this is also another little tip that as soon as I get home from the grocery store, I wash all of our produce right away. So as our kids are grabbing stuff, I know it's already been cleaned. So we put in our sink a little bit of this basic H2, which is actually considered to be a cleaning product, but it works amazing to clean your fruits and vegetables. So we just usually either put a few drops into our sink, throw all of our stuff in there and rinse it, or we will just spray it on there. And, this is a picture that I took that when I had, bought some grapes, and just to show the difference on the grapes that I had washed and not washed, look at the residue on there and the pesticides that sit on our food, guys. So very important just to think about that as pre-prepping. Wash it all right away and get yourself ready to go. So a lot of times when I am preparing meal plans for people, I still kind of stick to the list. I'm sure many of you have heard of the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And there is some truth to that. Now, I'm a huge fan of saying buy organic as much as possible. But I know right now, more than ever, a lot of times people can't maybe afford organic, or they don't always know what options to buy organic. I can tell you number two foods that need to be organic, guys, that are on this list every single time you'll see this: strawberries and spinach. Anything that's porous is going to absorb more of the chemicals. So those two, think of how you can figure out ways to find those to buy organic. And then recipes, guys, if you have your phones nearby, feel free to screenshot. I just threw a few recipes in here because I also think it's fun to give you ideas of things that you could make in advance, like an overnight option. Overnight oats are very popular. So this is something you could make the night before, make it in a large quantity. Now this one here in particular is 3 servings, but you could double this, so then you got enough. You're gonna hear a lot of people will tell you to do batch cooking, because that also helps to make it that much easier on you to not have to do this every single night. If you do 2 days worth at once, again, it's really gonna help with your time and the convenience factor. So really look at ways that you can sneak in doing more bulk. Now, I know one of our favorite things, and now that this stay-at-home order has been lifted, we might be able to get back to doing smoothie workshops, but we also love to make pre-packaged things that we can freeze. If you guys remember back in the day, there was a lot of those meal prep places. I cannot think of the name. Super Suppers was one around here that you could go there and you could make all of your food and put it in the freezer. People loved that, but they found that most of those ingredients were very processed and actually were not very healthy, but they were convenient. And something like making your smoothies in advance, convenient, guys. So you could take these ingredients, I gave you a recipe here, go buy a bunch of mango, bananas, and oats, make up a whole bunch of bags of them, and when you're ready to go, add your liquid, and there you go, ready to go. So very simple. You could also add in there some protein. Generally, we add Life Shakes into ours to make it a complete meal. So again, simple, but a way you could plan ahead so you're not caught off guard when you're suddenly hungry and you need something to go. So freezer options, we love those. And here's another idea that we are big fans of also. I was saying prepping your food when you get home, cutting it up, things like lemons and limes. They're very versatile. So you could use these to flavor your water. You could use them to flavor chicken. So you have options. If you're making, let's say, guacamole, we love to squeeze fresh limes in there. And if you know what, they're already cut up, I'm going to be that much more likely to want to grab them versus if I have to take the time, sometimes I'm just, not in the mood to do that. And then having some recipes that, let's say you cut up your peppers and you had everything ready to go, and you get to be later in the week and you're like, oh boy, I have a lot of things left in those glass jars. I don't know what to do with them. I'm a big fan of doing things like skillets and these bowls. You just put everything together and you saute it and you mix it. Maybe you could put it into a taco, or you could eat it all together just in a bowl. But think of, again, how you can reuse some of the foods you maybe had extras of without wasting them. So that's the thing I think people often times find is they buy all these ingredients with good intentions, but they only needed, for example, 2 eggs instead of a dozen, and they wait too long and then the half of the eggs go bad. So we want to just have ways that we can sneak in using up those foods before, they do go bad. So, and here's another great trick, guys, is things that you can find that are packaged that you could have to throw into foods. Now, these greens, these are something that I'm trying to move. I don't know if you guys can see this on your screen, but my picture of you guys is right in the middle of my picture. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so 5 reasons we love the Organic Greens Booster. This little container, guys, it's a very small scoop, just to show you the size of this here. Oops, there's greens in it. It's very small, but this is a great thing to be able to have on hand. Why? Because it doesn't go bad. So if you're one of those types of people, which I am guilty of this, I don't like kale, to be honest with you guys, but kale is very nutritious and I know I should eat it and I know I should give it to our kids. So I'll buy it once in a while, but I do know it goes bad. And another quick tip, you can definitely freeze kale, freeze avocados if they're going to go bad, freeze your spinach, freeze your bananas, and you could use those for adding into smoothies and things later. But these boosters are just an excellent way to have a concentrated source of greens. So an awesome mix-in that you don't have to worry about it going bad, and you don't have to worry about taking up room in your refrigerator. So these last, a fairly long time. There's no preservatives in it, but all the nutrients are still live in these greens as if you were buying the produce fresh, which many options that you will find. For example, if you look at something like True Lemon or True Lime, you guys ever seen those? They come in a little lemon and it looks like it's lemon juice. They say it's pure, but it's still not going to be the same as actually squeezing a fresh lemon or lime because somehow they pasteurized it. So it's not going to have all the same vitamins and minerals as like this greens booster does. So awesome to throw in there. Like I was saying, soups, pastas, casseroles, stews. I mean, it's, again, a very versatile option to have around. I also like to keep things, and we use a lot of this at smoothie workshops, but things that also don't go bad very easily, they have a long shelf life. This is powdered organic peanut butter that you could throw into, again, if you're baking, goes great into muffins. You could put this into your smoothies again, but it's just a very simple option that, again, instead you have to worry about, your peanut butter having to get it out and it going bad, you have a powdered option that will last you a very long time. And I'll also tell you guys, again, convenience. Just to mention a couple things here really fast. I know bagged salads have gotten a bad rep. I don't know about you guys, but there are several nights a week that I just do not always necessarily want to have to make a big meal, or I don't have time. So I do keep a few staples on hand that I know I can grab. And this was just one we just had, so I kept the bag. It's an organic salad kit. And again, if you look at the ingredients, try to always get organic because you're going to know at least it doesn't have things like MSG in it. It's not going to have high fructose corn syrup. So organic's going to be better. But I will also a lot of times keep the dressing on the side because generally in your salad kits, your dressings are going to be probably the most unhealthy part of your salad kit because they load it with tons of fat and sodium and sugar. So put that on the side and put it on as you need it versus mixing it all together. But salad kits are a great staple. Now we added tonight with this avocados and chicken. So, we made it into a meal that literally took me probably about 10 minutes. So, I also had made the organic chicken breast in advance and I had froze some that I cut up so I could just pull it out, threw it in our salad, and we were good to go. So that's a great meal prep tip. And again, just talking about, quick meal options. I'm not always a big fan of pre-made foods because I think the sodium content is so high. But again, go back to no matter what, it's probably going to be healthier than you going out to eat. Okay. So think about things you can find that might be convenience for your family. I know some of you out here, and we've got people that don't have any kids. We have people that do have kids. So you also got to think about your situation. But these are just kind of like your chicken nuggets, but these are organic chicken breast chunks. And again, we found these at Costco. I'm sure you can find them other places. But make sure when you're getting something, especially like poultry, that it is organic, okay? Because it's going to mean that it's very limited the amounts of hormones or things that could be added to it. Now, yes, if you look at the ingredients on the back here, usually I like to say less than 5 ingredients when you look at labels. And this one is really not much more than that. Most of it's found in your spices. So, garlic powder and, paprika and things like that. So that's not a bad thing. So again, a great quick option. You can also mix these into your Caesar salad. So see how you can, again, have options to, just be prepared for when you need a quick, meal ready to go. So, all right, this is another great thing you could do advance that I'm going to have Sarah unmute herself and I'm going to have her share because she actually does a lot more with these probably than I do. So I'm going to have her share about her salads in a jar.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can, Sarah, but I can't see the top of your head.
I can't see anything again. I have that.
Okay, there you go. That's better. I can see up to your nose. Okay, now we see you.
else. So I have no idea what I can do to change that.
You're better.
Uh,
You're better.
Nope, that's you big. Yeah, so if you can't see me, give me a sign or something. Is this good?
Yeah. Nope, you're good. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, one thing that I love to do, quick, easy, I need things that are ready to go. 3 little kids, I work outside the home, is salads in a jar. And I've done these with groups of friends. You can see a couple there on the bottom. We used to do it, pretty much 2 or 3 times a year. Haven't done one in the spring since the whole COVID thing, but super easy and a super good way to have things ready to go for work or at home. And there are so many recipes, you guys. You can go on Pinterest and you will find recipes for Cobb, Greek, Italian, pasta salads, whatever you want. And usually at the get-togethers, we pick, 3 to 4, and then we get together and disassemble it. We've done it 2 different ways, where I had all the ingredients and we assembled it, or you pick, someone makes a gigantic salad and then you just put it in a jar. So there's several ways to do it. You can't screw it up. And then, can you see my jar?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is one I actually made up for work tomorrow. And really easy. The only tip you need to follow is you work from heavy to light. So you put your heaviest ingredients on the bottom and you're going to work your way up. So when you take your lid off and you flip it, you plop it on your plate or your bowl and it's good to go. Amanda talked about dressings. In addition to some dressings being not so good for you, I rarely put my dressings in these unless I'm going to eat it like the day of. I just like to put mine on my own, and it can get a little soggy in here if you put it in there at the bottom of the jar, but you're more than welcome to. So you guys, you can add whatever you want. This one does have some protein in it, just some ground turkey. Don't have to, but really just, from heavy to light, load it up, good to go. These last, most of them, I last a week plus in the fridge. If you're doing we do a chicken salad one that group really loves, and it's kind of mixed with like a healthy mayonnaise sauce and some grapes. And that's one, I would eat earlier in the week than later. So you really can't go wrong if you're looking for a great way to do it yourself or get together. Doing it in a group is nice because you buy such large amounts of stuff and then you don't have to worry about it going to waste. So that's an easy way to have good solid meals to go. And I've done it before too with like meals. So think like pasta, broccoli, maybe some veggie noodles or something on the top. So when you flip it over, you have more of like a hearty meal if you're thinking about dinners or stuff like that. So salads or meals in a jar are a fantastic way to go. And that picture on the top left, I like that picture because it kind of just, shows 3 steps to starting your day off perfectly. I take my, vitamins in the morning, have a smoothie for breakfast or lunch, and then have a salad option for lunch or dinner. Boom, 75% of your meals and what you need are taken care of. So easy peasy, salads in a jar.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing. And again, I think that is a great meal prep idea, guys. So you make it 5 at one time, so you got one every day for lunch. That's going to prep you so much better than you open up the refrigerator and you have to go make a new one every single day. So, that's the idea, is planning ahead for sure. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. And just a reminder too, guys, talking about dressings, if you look at the cost of buying dressing, you can save so much money by making your own. And it is so easy, guys. So don't be scared to try that. It's literally can take you about a minute if you have the ingredients on hand. So don't be scared to make your own dressings, and they are way healthier because there's no preservatives or anything added to them. So yes, thanks for sharing. All right, so just a few more tips. And again, I would love to hear from any of you if you guys think of some things that you do that helps you with meal planning. Again, this is a hard topic to limit to 20 minutes, but just to kind of cover some things that, I think for some of us, we may forget now and then. One, like I said, double your recipes so you have leftovers. Remember the things that you can freeze. I always say to try to add in 1 new recipe a week. Most of us, I hate to say it, but we're probably not like Betty Crockers, and we love to sit and try a new recipe every single day. So you have your staples, but then get adventurous 1 time a week to try something new. So that makes a lot less pressure. And if it doesn't work out, it was only 1 meal versus every night you're trying something new. And again, recreating everything is very difficult. So having some of the ingredients carrying over is really going to save you time. For example, the other night, we actually did breakfast for dinner, and we had scrambled eggs, and I saved some of the scrambled eggs to put in our stir fry the next night. So it was kind of like a chicken stir fry rice, and we could have actually even saved that rice and put it in that salad in a jar. Rice is really good in a salad in a jar too. So, think of how you can mix and match your foods. And also, I always say, guys, you have to think about the things that you like to eat. Don't go picking out recipes that, for example, if you hate beets, don't go pick out that you're going to make a beet salad tomorrow, because you're not going to eat it. You want to be realistic, and you also have to know that if you're not necessarily the best cook, that's okay. But don't pick the recipes that are going to be very, very challenging and difficult to follow. So, you got to get to know your style and get to know the things that are going to make meal planning the easiest for you. I also love online. Go and Google free meal planning options. You can get sheets everywhere. I said I kind of like the board option just because it's reusable, but you can even write it out on a piece of paper if you use a notebook. But there are plans that are made to help guide you through your week and incorporating your vegetables, your fruits, water, has charts, everything. If you would like to track, that would be another option also for meal planning. But again, guys, think of how you can make it simple. And right now, I think we've had to probably cook more than we ever have with staying at home. So this has been a perfect time to kind of maybe learn some new things and try some new things. And also not be scared of the kitchen. Okay, it doesn't have to be scary, and really we can make options work for anybody to make things simplified. So any other tips, comments, suggestions you guys have you'd like to share, please unmute yourself. That would be great. I know somebody's got a tip on here. Come on, guys.
I will share my go-to. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thanks, Kate. Yeah.
All right, my go-to is I love omelets. I eat an omelet probably every day for either breakfast or lunch, whatever I don't have my shake for. And it's a great way to use up veggies that are in the fridge. And I haven't had a veggie combo yet that I didn't like. Broccoli and cheddar is one of my favorite, or mushrooms and spinach and onions, or asparagus and tomatoes. It's an awesome way to use up those veggies that are kind of maybe getting a little past due. My only tip is I always saute them first. And then once the veggies are cooked, slide them on my plate and then do my eggs. That way my omelet doesn't get watery. But awesome source of protein, especially if you buy the free range eggs and then some good organic vegetables. And it's an awesome, awesome meal. And quick and easy.
Yeah, great tip, Kate. That is a great one. Yes, we like omelets too. So yes, very good idea. Good.
Hey, Amanda, one.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you kind of alluded to this, but for those of you who have kids or feeding, multiple people, my go-to is crock pot your chicken. And like I did it today instead of yesterday, but I think I had like 10 chicken breasts in there, and I crock pot it and I shred it up, and then I split it up. So it can be for salads, it can be for chicken tacos, it can be barbecue chicken sandwiches. And I do the same thing with ground turkey. I think I did like 4 pounds today. Split it up, freeze it, because usually that's what takes the longest, is you go get the meat and it's frozen, and how do you cook it. But easy add-ons for salads, stir fries like you mentioned. You could throw it in omelets, but just make bulk. I can't stress that enough, because things pop up and it's really easy to add that stuff, but do it all at once.
For sure. That's great. Yes. And I think too, guys, that as you hear these ideas, I think it's even good refreshers. Like, I'm sure some of you are like, oh, I forgot about omelets. Even just kind of flipping through things will help spark new ideas. We are big fans of breakfast for dinner. We do pancakes a lot too. Those are super easy to make on your own. You don't need to go buy a box mix even. You can mix up your own flours. We add the protein mix in there. We cut up bananas. I mean, that's a great, again, quick option too, that even kids like to help make those too. So another, quick tip. Good. Anybody else? Tips or ideas? All right. Well, this was recorded, guys. So I know I just saw somebody mention they got on late, so I'm happy to send you the recording. But as always, guys,